Little bitch, Alan?
I did hear that.
No, good. Okay. I was hoping you would.
It looks like he's like trying to clean up really quick before someone comes over. He's like, "Oh shit, I gotta throw this on, throw it in the closet." Oh,
Brushing his teeth with dish soap.
oh.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, man. Sometimes you don't have toothpaste around.
I feel like, is that a better option?
I mean, your mouth will smell like soap. I don't know if it's good for your teeth.
I mean, I definitely had to wash my mouth out with soap as a kid because
Oh, really?
Southern parents do that shit.
Mm,
You know what it was? The one that got me the most was the word suck.
really?
Suck. Yeah, that's the one that I had to, because I would be like, "Oh, this sucks." And my mom would be like, "Go to the bathroom, wash your
Oh,
mouth out with
shit.
soap." I'm like, "Oh, man."
Yeah, I remember, man, because it like sucks was like, I don't, how old are you? It's like early
30,
30s?
30, 31.
31.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Because like I remember a time, honestly, where suck was like not the word that people used. It was like it was like stink. Like
Yeah,
that
this stinks.
stinks.
Yeah.
And I remember when sucks was getting like really popularized when I was like 6 or 7 years old. And I got in
When
trouble
suck
for
went
that shit a
mainstream.
lot too. Yeah, when suck went mainstream. Man, sucking should go mainstream again. But I remember getting in trouble also for being like that blows. And my mom was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, that's just as bad." I was like, "Wait, why? I don't even understand. I'm 7 years old. None of these mean anything
Yeah.
to me
I
yet."
thought I thought I was getting in trouble because suck sounded like another word with a different first letter. And so that's
Mm.
why I thought I was getting in trouble. And so yeah, whenever I was like, "Oh, this blows," and I was still getting in trouble, I was so confused. It's like, why? Because I don't understand what it means. I'm just like, this is,
All right, guys. Look at that
Yeah,
perfect timing.
suck and blow. I mean,
One
listen,
second to
like as a
spare.
kid, you don't understand where that shit came
yeah.
from. There's no
Sometimes
origins for
sometimes you
you.
just yell suck and blow.
Yeah,
What's up, Alan?
What the
exactly.
fuck did I just walk into?
Sometimes you play the game.
Welcome to this. I don't even know what to say. Welcome to the South Sound Podcast, where we talk about our favorite musicians from all over the world. We got a lot of shit to talk about. We got
Hashtag suck and blow.
suck. Yeah,
Hashtag suck and blow.
yeah. We're,
That is a real game, you know. I don't
no
know if you
way.
guys
I
have
know.
ever played it.
Oh, I know.
No, I never have played Suck and Blow. But we got a Death to the Mainstream that we're going to talk about, which was a very fascinating video. I will provide the links to all this stuff that we researched. And then we got Band-Maid. Did you guys listen to the new Band-Maid song? We're going to be talking about that a little bit.
Oh,
Si,
yeah.
senor.
Yeah. And then we have the new Ren song, which I don't think we've ever talked about a Ren song. Indeed. Well, no, we did Hi Ren, right?
You and Champ
and
have.
Champ-
I haven't been a part of the conversation, but
Yeah, Champ did the Tales of Jenny and Screech, so we got the Tales of Vincent, which please provide some context for me, because is Vincent part of that thing? Because I wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
have
He
you?
is?
So you watched it, right? You did a reaction.
Yes.
Okay, so Vincent's Tale, all that's out right now is the prologue. So
Yes.
it's just it's him setting up the story, right? Ren is the only artist that I know of that does like a prequel to his music, but the song that came out is just like announcing Vincent and like kind of getting you a teaser of who he is and why he's involved. And the video starts with them talking about the events of Jenny and Screech on like watching news. Like there's like a news reporter talking about what happened to Jenny and what happened to Screech, and then the guy's just sitting there on the couch smoking a blunt.
Dude, that's why
there's
does
a lot
that
of
stuff
theories.
go all over my head? Like,
Yeah.
all that stuff
There's a
always
lot
goes
of
over my
theories.
head. But I was focusing more on the music. But I should
We'll talk
focus
about
on
it
the
more.
lyrics.
We'll
Yeah,
talk
we'll
about
talk
it in a
about
bit.
more. Yeah. And then what else? We got the top 10. We have done that in a while. And then I already mentioned Band-Maid. I think. Then we got Bright Deer drama, which is very unfortunate because this band can't catch a break. They had to cancel like tour and stuff earlier this year, right? I believe. So
Yeah.
and they're a good band. They're just not my thing, but they are a good band, and I just want to shed some light on it, and maybe we can help them out because they have some issues coming up, and we'll talk about that. But let's talk about this interesting mainstream is dead kind of video, and I thought this really related to music in general, so that's why I brought it up. It's not typically what we do here, but I was like, it actually really plays into the whole music thing. So I watched this really interesting video about it, and so they're talking about monoculture, and what monoculture is basically explains how even though we have
before and yet
even though we have more we have, so sorry, let me start over again. I'm a little out of it right now. Even though we have more access to amazing content than ever, movies, shows, etc., something still feels like it's missing, is what he's talking about in this. And what he's talking about in general is like we all could connect on something because we would all watch a show together. Like, for example, something that came up for me that I just watched recently was Everybody Loves Raymond. Like, I mean, anyone in our generation remembers that show, right? Because we all saw it. It was on TV. And I think it's really kind of crazy because us as millennials, we went through all the eras like of the TV and then to the streaming services. So we saw everything like develop in like lightning speed. So he's talking about like the monoculture and how that is like we were more synced together, but also he was saying like with the internet we could create communities and stuff and have more of a like we can find our niche. Like if we didn't fit in with the monoculture, which some of us didn't, right? Some of us didn't fit in that. We didn't like the pop music and stuff like that. But even in the 90s, I like the metal and stuff and the rock and the new metal, but we all could connect at some level with it, right? And I thought it was just fascinating how he broke this down. So I really highly recommend checking out the video because I'm butchering explanation of it, but I really want to talk about it because I do feel like we have different versions of mainstream now. Like for us in the Japanese culture, our mainstream would be baby metal, Band-Maid, Nemophila, like those are mainstream bands for us, but not for anyone else that's not in our niche. And I was like, that's what I was thinking about when he was saying that. And then he was saying that people are becoming divided, but I think in the Japanese culture, or like Japanese music culture, like with the fans, we have created a community. And I think he kind of missed that point. Like there's still some community happening, but it's just on a really smaller level.
Yeah, but it's still niche, but it's big. So like when he's talking like monoculture, the way I took it was like events that globally were recognized.
Yeah.
Right. Like
the whole cheating thing.
He mentioned like TV shows and movies and stuff. Like it used to be there was like 5 or 6 major blockbuster movies per year, and everyone went to see it. Everyone would go and see the movie, and everyone would talk about it.
Yep.
And now there's still these blockbuster hits coming out, but because they're only in theaters for a few weeks before going to streaming platforms, and then these streaming platforms are creating really good content like K-pop Demon Hunters and like these other movies that you can just watch from your home. You don't need to go and pay for a ticket. It's just the conversations aren't happening at the same volume, I think is what it was like when Game of Thrones still does a weekly release, right? Obviously it's not on air anymore, but it would release every Sunday. A lot of people who watch Game of Thrones, which is a lot of people, would talk about that episode on Monday. That's that monoculture.
Yeah, and like Squid Games was a great one. That was a monoculture. Like everyone
what just happened this week.
Oh yeah, with the cheating scandal. Yeah,
with the guy at the Coldplay concert.
So
that was
still
a monoculture event, man.
But it's still there. It's just on a smaller scale, I guess you could say, or like.
And it moves way faster. Like this 24-hour cycle is. It's like it's funny. Like I thought that was going to end, and then the dude quit. Right. So now we're back into it, and we're going to talk about it for another 2 days, but then it's going to be gone forever. Nobody's going to give a fuck what these people did after that, But I think of this like really strongly, like the thing that I started thinking about as soon as you started talking about that, Alan, was just obviously we talk about music. So was music and just where we are right now. Because I was thinking about this yesterday. I was going through the radio station with my son in the car. This is actually Friday. And we were going through the radio stations and we were just like trying to see what would pop up, right? Like different types of stations, not trying to go onto like old school rock stations or anything, but top 40s and stuff like that. And there was only 2 kinds of music that kept popping up. It was either like regular, just like straight up pop music or pop rap hybrid music. And that was everywhere. And I'm including like the country rap hybrid stuff that was popping as like pop rap hybrid also. And then I was thinking back to like when I was Zach's age, my son, because he's 17, that was 2002. And what did we have on like TRL at that point? We did have like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, but we also had Limp Bizkit and Korn and Slipknot.
But we knew all of it.
Madonna and fucking Eminem.
Yep.
And people were engaging with all of these different genres simultaneously. And
but we all knew about all those genres, which was crazy because like I was a fan of Eminem and metal like at the same time.
Same.
But like it was kind of crazy. Like we still knew about the Spice Girls, right? Even if we didn't listen to them, we knew about them because it was like blasting our face on MTV. You have to wait for it to like end or whatnot for the next video
Of
to come up.
course. And they were all
Backstreet
going on at the
Boys,
same time, and they were just about as popular as each other. I mean, like if you're to look at like,
Yep.
sure, you could look at the Backstreet Boys or Britney Spears and say they were like the tippy top, right? But like you turn on TRL and Korn releases a new song, and Freak on a Leash just beat fucking Hit Me Baby One More Time,
Yep.
on the countdown. And it's like that's the difference, the huge difference between that mainstream culture being like open to everybody back 25 years ago versus like the mainstream culture that we see right now is this grand very like neutral sort of scope of what exists, and then all of these different monocultures that live around the bubble that people are engaging with.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. Like I feel like we still have our community, like thanks to YouTube, honestly. Like we still have that community. Like Shade just went to Chicago, right? That was a very community engaged kind of encounter. You want to talk about that? Like when you went out there to see Baby Metal?
Yeah, dude. We had like 30 people from the Discord show up. We were all waiting in line for hours before the show. We get into the show. Some people had VIP. They're up on the rail looking back at me like a broke bitch. It was a fun time. Yeah, the show went crazy. Everyone was cramped in there. It was a really fun venue. And then afterwards, like we got really cool pictures with everyone just drenched in sweat from running around in the pit. And then we go outside and it's drenched in rain. And so we're all soaked. And it was a cool come together moment because we met people in Irving, but it was at a much smaller scale. And in Chicago, it was like 10x. And then in LA in a couple months, it's going to be even bigger. So, it's pretty cool. There's definitely still that community event. But it's based off what your mainstream is, right? Like, because when I talk to people about my YouTube channel, I'm always like, okay, I have to be prepared that they're not going to understand. Like, they're like, what do you mean you have a YouTube channel? It's like, oh, I react to music. What kind of music? All right, sit down. It's like, have you heard of Band-Maid or Baby Metal or Nemophila or Ren or any of these? And they're like,
no, they still mention like
exactly
all
but
the older bands.
That's like for me in the last 6 months since doing this, that's my mainstream now. Like that's what I listen to. That's like
that's our
hard to
popular
imagine
music.
Someone not hearing of Baby Metal or whatever, right? But that's just because that's the reality that I live in my little bucket of the internet that's mainstream to me.
So for example, like we have I would forgive me when I say this, but like Niganisu would be maybe not as popular of a band, but in the Japanese genre, right? Like we have our popular bands that are always the go-tos that we do reactions to, right? That people love. They always want to hear from. Maximum Hormone being one of them, even though they're older. They still bring it in, or even some of the Visual K bands, Darren Gray, they're a popular band. So we have our own mainstream. We literally do. Like for every single like sub little culture that's happening on the internet, which is wild to think about. And the cool thing is though that we're all meeting up now. Like before that never happened. It just stayed on the internet, and now we're actually meeting in person. Like Champ and I did the Band-Maid show, right? We all went there, did a live podcast, hung out with everyone, went to the Band-Maid show. Afterwards, did another podcast. And it's an amazing thing. So like, I think it was just, I feel like he glossed over some of the really good benefits of it. It was, and I think that was what was missed in that video was that part of it. Because I feel like I've never felt more connected. Like there's so many people I met here on this Discord, like you, Shade, Champ, we've all hung out. Janine is probably in the chat right now too. SJ Nix is in the chat. We met up. Yeah. So like I've made so many friends because of the channel, like specifically. And I don't think I would have met them otherwise.
I don't think that it's like, I'll be honest, for me personally, like my most engaged that I was, at least in the musical world, and like how I made my friends mostly in like high school and college, was based on like collective agreements that we were not going to follow the mainstream. Like handshake deals. Like we never said it out loud. Like, oh yeah, mainstream is we're too cool for that shit. But like,
what is that
really,
now?
None of us wanted to be a part of it, right? So it was like, we thought all of my friends, we were super into like fucking death metal,
Yep.
And that's who surrounded us. That was our crew. That was our people. And the places that we went ended up having those people also. So it's like not engaging in the mainstream was always kind of like informing these little monocultures that you speak of. I think for people that like listen to like, especially like heavier music and stuff like that, they end up forming those cultures, even before this like wave of the internet, where it kind of like separated us into these cultures purposely. We were already doing that by ourselves. Like Alan, you've been in bands your whole life,
Yep.
so that going from band to band,
Yep.
based on what kind of music they're playing and stuff like that, the culture is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, so like as much as like we were forced to be aware of it, mainstream culture back in the day, because there weren't as many outlets to find different things. Like I remember there was like a website that allowed you to type in, we're talking like the beginning of the internet's like popularity in like 2004, 2005, right? Where it's like there was a website you could type in this band's name and it would like branch out. It would be like a family tree. And then it would show you bands that were kind of like sort of similar to it, and the further it went, the further they were from that sound, the closer, the more likely you would be to find it. And that's the type of way that we would have to find that kind of more
We'd have to work for it pretty
specific
much.
Culture.
Well, and then people like for music in general, like when you think of a song like High Ren that had such a significant impact and just like showed you how many people had like mental health kind of issues. Like that was like kind of one of those songs that could almost be monoculture because it was 54 million views. I mean, probably more than that, like 100 or something. Like everybody heard about that song because it was on the news, things like that. People were like trying to.
It was just on Joe Rogan podcast like a couple weeks ago too.
Yeah, so it's crazy when you do get a song that hits so hard when you find something like musically that just resonates with everyone, especially like a song like High Ren. That's crazy. It just shows you how the state of all of our mental health is,
I think that media industries generally underestimate the value of like people coming together because of like mental health struggles and issues and stuff like that. Because usually they're not promoting that type of stuff. And they didn't for Ren either. Ren had to break through on his own and created his own path there. And now people are talking about it because they relate to it.
I couldn't even advertise it. I tried to advertise his video and it wouldn't let me. They said it was it breached YouTube confidential, like it's like YouTube just said it breached their terms of service for the advertisement, so I couldn't even do it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was wild.
Well, I do think that like if more people were, I think that the mainstream industries, and I'm not just talking about music now, but like media industries, I think that they promote what they think is going to make money or what they were already kind of sort of in the pattern of over the last 30 years of what makes money. But I don't think that they've realized quite yet that people want to try to connect on a more personal basis when it comes to like our mental health and stuff like that. And that when these things do break through, they got to take a look at that and say, okay, maybe we should like shift our, like, we don't need to just sing about tits and ass all the time, right? Like we don't need to throw fucking Megan the Stallion out on the top 40, like give her all the promotion and say like, bitch, you just got to sing about your ass. That's all you got to do. Like people are fucking sick of that shit, bro. I'm telling you.
Well,
and if they were to promote like a Ren and say like, okay, you know what? We're going to fucking throw this guy on the radio. We're going to put this guy, we're going to make his music videos, whatever he wants to do. Like we're going to pay for that shit. Like that is the type of thing that I think will start to actually get people to sort of form a larger scope around that.
No one's listening to radio now, but I remember when they played Band-Maid, I got them to play Band-Maid on the local radio. Like, of course, it's a Sunday thing, but like, I would hope they're going to wake up. But Universal Music obviously realized this. This is why they're trying to control all the distributing for everybody. That's why they know they're like, instead of playing the guessing game on music, let's just own all the shit that everybody's delivering their music on. It's the easy way to do it. That's exactly why Universal Music is doing what they're doing, because you might as well just like take control of the distribution, and then whatever makes it big, they still get their cut either way.
Yeah, but that's awful because it just creates a monopoly, and then like they can run everything under their like umbrella of how they want to run it. So things get even less diverse under like one fucking umbrella, And so I shudder to think of how that's going to be 5 years from now, especially if they're not like stopped on the way there, because everything's just gonna sound the fucking same, man.
Yeah, I agree. It's
just, I mean, there's still going to be independent artists, though. All right, like there's going to be people like Ren. There's going to be people who are making stuff on their own. But to your point, it's just not going to be promoted the same, and so the reach is always going to be smaller. Like it's. I think people.
I think one of the things I didn't understand as like a youngin, as a teenager, or even in my 20s, was how effective behind the scenes advertising actually is. And I'm not just talking about effective on like the people that are viewing it and going, oh, I want to buy that because I saw it, but the fact that they choose to promote these certain things and they don't have to promote anything else, right? So it's like they really are just deciding what is going to be out there in the mainstream, whoever it is, these owners of these companies and stuff like that.
But now
And we just have to kind of hope that it's stuff that we like.
But like I said, I think they're going the route where they're not guessing that anymore. Like that's what Universal's doing. They're going the route of not guessing. Like they're going to control all the distribution, and it's going to be the people that can pay it. You know, to pay it to get their money. I had to pay quite a bit. It's like $200 a year just to have my songs staying out there on all the platforms. Like that's wild. And no, I do not make $200 off those songs. You know, so but to keep them up there, I have to do that. And they like try to get you with all these things, and that's through DistroKid. Like it's horrible. CD Baby was like a one-time thing, but they changed their thing because they just were bought out. But yeah. Speaking of Ren, Vince's Tale, I absolutely loved it. His singing, dude. His singing is so good. It is so good. I was like, I think a lot of Ren fans would agree with me when he started singing those high notes and like putting all that grit and that like that metal vocals on it. It was so pleasing to hear. It really was. Because we've been hearing the rap stuff. We love the rap, but a lot of us are rock fans that got into Ren, you know, and I really appreciate how he delivered the vocals, the way he did it, the dynamics that he did on the song. Watch our reactions to it when we put them out. But it was great.
What I love is the Tales of Ginny and Screech in general, and then now Vincent's Tale is sort of in that same universe. I love the like kind of bard. He's calling it bardcore, like sort of that classical guitar sound where he's kind of putting in this kind of old school sound to it. It is so cool. And then this one, they threw in some like weird shit musically, like there's like electronic beats and stuff like that, and like it's just so creative the way that he put this song together. And then on top of his almost like vibrato yodel that he's doing, that like he's doing it so crazy. He's insane.
And you know, and this is why I love Ren, because we can play some of his music and we won't get copyrighted. So let me show. Have you heard it yet, Champ?
No, that's why.
Okay, I'll wait. I won't say it. I won't show a clip of it.
I don't want any spoilers. I want to try to figure it out on my own, because I honestly had so much fun trying to figure out the meaning of the lyrics on the Jenny and Screech one.
You did a great job with it.
Like it was just so fun to like kind of decipher what it was all about and how the story was unfolding. I don't want any spoilers on this one. Yeah. So just let me know when you're done talking about it. I'll put my headphones back on.
Okay, yeah. But I'm looking forward to it, where I'm probably going to work something out with Champ, because there's so much that I didn't separate, and there's so much I didn't understand with the lyrics. And it was one of those times I really wish I had Champ there to explain it to me, because I don't know. It's just hard for me to focus. I need to listen to it a couple times. Like it took me, like I watched Jenny and Screech again, and now I love that song. Where I first heard it, I'm like, this is cool, and I didn't really get it. But this one, it felt really different from that other one, because I felt like there was a structure, but not a structure, because he goes back to those high notes again. Like he goes back to that like singing. Belts. Yeah. And for me, that was like the chorus, even though it wasn't the chorus, but you still have the story. And the other thing was how the music went with the story more so in this, because there's more production than Jenny and Screech. Jenny and Screech was very stripped down. You had the acoustic guitar and things. Yeah. And in this one, he really used the elements of production to elevate the story of the song, which I absolutely love. That's what I do in my music. I do in Toxic Walrus, is like in that storytelling way you can have the music elevate it. Like if somebody's running, you're doing faster picking, or in your own style, you know, in your own way, like to accentuate those like things on the vocals. And he does that with the music, and I really appreciate that. Even like the clock ticking faster at the end was like,
that whole finishing scene, the way it was done from
I was so baffled by it,
like production standpoint, and like from like a director standpoint. Like he's got an eye for how to make a video, man. Like, the transition where he's like clicking the remote through the TV, so sick.
I can't wait until he does movies or something.
Like that's pretty much what he's doing here, man. Yeah. Like they're small, but like he's doing movies. Like he's making an entire trilogy based off of like a storyline. But I will say it is a cheat code having my wife do these reactions for Ren with me, because she's just sort of hyper intelligent when it comes to breaking down these sort of lyrics, because she's a therapist and does this for a living. It is insane what she's able to pick up on, and just like I'll listen to it like 3 times before I'll understand what she got within like 5 seconds. It is
I know
very helpful.
I know he used to listen to new metal. He mentions that in a couple of interviews, but I'm actually curious if you listen to any like Avenged Sevenfold metalcore, because like I felt like it sounded like an influence of his, but like it's completely his own thing. Because like that Scream thing was like totally like an M Shadows, but his own thing, because he has this unique thing to his voice, though, like that it just makes it unique. But it was like the style of the vocals, not the tone. His tone is his. Yeah. His tone is super unique. That's why I'm really excited to hear him do more of this. Like, I really want to hear more of this. Like, it's just my thing, I want to hear that style with him doing like the rock vocals. It's so good.
Troy said she helps me too, 100%. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I gotta play it just a little.
Terrible scene. Here lie the corpses of corporate machines, planting seeds where the grass never grows. But the grass, it stays greener in places unknown as we all fall down in London town.
Like just that, like the octave drops that he does on that, and I explained in the reaction, like it's so good. Like it's really good. You got to isolate the vocals. I have them for free on Patreon if you guys want to check them out. Absolutely free, and it notifies you when we go live and put out these videos.
Achy ground carries me. Whoa, rains down, blindingly loud.
Yeah, that part, dude. I just, it gets me every time.
It's like haunting. It's almost like haunting. It's like I got that feeling listening to it. Some of the musical choices they made, it sounded like it could be a score to a horror movie in some places. Like it kind of gave me that feel, which is interesting, the way Rin can like imprint an emotion when you're listening to something. Like, then I would have never thought that.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, that was it.
Okay. Like another thing that was amazing was we start off with a slide, like a stand-up bass, like we're fretless bass he's doing in the beginning. And I don't know if he did a program fretless bass, because you can do that nowadays with Logic, and I know he uses Logic, so they do have fretless basses on there. But it sounds like it's played, but who knows? It's so good now with
So throw in a trumpet. Like why not?
Yeah, but like he changes from like a fretless bass to like 808s by the end of the song, and it's like, how did he make all those elements work to tell the story? And that's what I love about him. That's the genius of him. So he makes those elements work in his favor. Like he's using them, not them using him. Like a lot of people, when they make music, they'll just be like, oh, I got to make everything surrounded around this beat. No, he has a story, a vision, and he makes sure that the music fits his story and vision rather than.
And the story is like based off of Vincent van Gogh, which is super fascinating. And I'm excited to see what he does with the future installments of this. So we'll see what happens.
So yeah, it's just wild. I really like. I've listened to like 8 times already this morning. I listened to it a lot last night too. I've recorded these reactions in the middle of the night. I was like, oh, I gotta listen to these songs, and they're just amazing, really good. But all right, champ, you can come back.
All right, champ, come on.
Yeah, you can come back.
Come on, champ.
I feel like Shade's cheating by having a fucking therapist there to be able to explain everything to him right there. That's the only part that I heard, that your wife is a therapist. Do you ever, let me ask you something, Shade. Are you ever just like, you're in a mood one day and like, you're maybe a little grumpy or a little disappointed in something?
I shut that shit down.
So you've never like turned around and you just see her like from a distance just reading you?
Oh, I do.
Like silently reading you?
But because I've known her for so long, like I met Hannah like literally weeks after she graduated college. And so I've known her as a professional therapist our entire relationship. It is so obvious when she switches into like therapy mode. Like I can just see it on her face, like the way like her face like flattens out to like hide emotion. Like I can see it immediately, and I'm like, no. You talk to me like my wife right now. Like,
well, they say that it takes a lot to do, like to switch into that mode. Because what did they say? I'm not saying she's a sociopath, but like they were saying like some.
No, I say it all the time.
Yeah, they say sociopaths are really good at being counselors because they can switch. Yeah. They can switch to that.
I literally say that as like kind of a joke. I'm like, I feel like all effective therapists and doctors to some degree have to have a little bit of like sociopathic behavior, because to be able to remove emotion from what you're hearing, because that's more helpful. Like if you're in a therapy session and you say some crazy shit, right? Like some super traumatic shit, and your therapist is like, oh my God, I'm so like, that's not effective. Like that's not helpful. Like that doesn't work. You need someone who's going to hear it and just be like, this is like just be able to look right in your eyes like nothing happened and like analyze. That's way more helpful than someone being reactionary and kind of the like sociopath tendencies is like to be able to remove emotion from a specific.
This is a horrible segue, but I feel like Champ could be a therapist sometimes the way he talks. Not saying you're a sociopath, this is just a horrible segue, but I really feel like you could be. Like when we did the reaction, I was like, damn, like this guy like knows exactly what I'm thinking sometimes, or like he'll decipher what I'm trying to say, and it just blows my mind.
But maybe I just don't feel emotions at all. Like maybe I don't have to switch. Maybe I just don't feel them in the first place.
Yeah.
It's the Bruce Banner. I'm always angry.
Yeah, right. No, I think that like I agree entirely with what you're saying, man. Like it would be so hard to like legitimately, because I'll be there with like Alan. He'll be like feeling every emotion when we're listening to a song. I'll see tears forming under his fucking eyelids about to stream down, and I'm just going. I'm thinking about it like, all right, 3 + 9 = 12, you know, like just trying to figure out how we got from point A to point B. It's a very different way. And it's like it's so funny because it depends on what it is, right? Like if you're a therapist, for example, you don't have a choice of when you can and cannot connect emotionally to something. You have to separate it. For me, it's like if I see somebody else crying on TV, I start fucking crying. But I've never listened to a song before and started crying. Alan, on the other hand, will cry over any fucking song.
Maximum hormone would make him tear up. It's crazy.
Actually,
and I'm a little jealous about that.
I've thrown up during
like,
maximum hormone.
Look at that. That's crazy. Yeah. I wish I could feel those things when I'm listening to music, but it's just
I don't want that.
It becomes so analytical
you don't want
that I just can't. I'm just like I'm focused entirely on the creation of it.
During some of those songs, like I was, drinking a little bit, so it kind of shuts off the analytical side of me. But I can get in the mode without drinking, of course. There is moments where I can just focus in and just feel the music. But I have to feel it. Like with the Vincent's Tale, I just felt it and just went with it,
Yeah, I didn't get emotional to any of the Rin stuff so far, which is shocking because it's such heavy, not emotional in like the like cry way, but like I got pissed, like I got mad at like Ginny and Screech. I'm like ready to fucking throw hands with this guy. But then
that's
there's
how
other
Champ
songs.
Felt. Champ was the same way.
There's other songs that do get me, right? Like again, I keep talking about K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm sorry, but like it tells a whole story throughout this fucking movie. And then the final song is a song called This Is What It Sounds Like. And just the whole build up. Like if you just heard that song by itself, it's a good song, don't get me wrong. But I don't know if it would like have the emotional impact that it does because of all the other songs and the story leading up to it, that whenever it sings it, like when she belts that shit, you're like, oh my God, that was incredible. So sometimes it's not just the music. There's like other factors that sort of play in, which is what Rin is doing, by the way, with Vincent's Tale. I'm not going to spoil anything about the song. You keep your headphones on, Champ. But he did say that this is going to be a very new and unique experience.
I'm excited
for it. It's going to be a multimedia experience. So like if you're not following his Instagram, you should, because I guess there's going to be like clips and content shared on Instagram that has to do with the story. And it's like a multimedia event is what he's calling it. So if you're not following him on that,
I hate going on all that social media stuff. But hey, that's a smart way to get people to follow, for real.
That's mainstream now, man. Clever. You're talking about mainstream, like social media promotion is the most mainstream version of promotion nowadays. So it's like, yeah, so man, if you skip out on that, then you're not hitting all the target demos.
Thought it was.
Everybody keeps bringing up these K-pop Demon Hunters, by the way, and obviously I know that like this exists, but like you're not the first person this week, man. Like I was at a wedding yesterday, and 2 different people came up to me and were like, "Dude, it's so good. You got to watch this."
I'm gonna watch it now.
And I was, like I'm probably gonna watch it, but when I first saw what they titled it, I just laughed out loud, man, because I was like, this is literally like you're aiming directly for the popular things, and you're not even trying to be subtle about it now. It's like, what's popular? K-pop and anime. Boom, we're gonna call it K-pop Demon Hunters. Go. Like there's no creativity behind it. They just said this is what we're targeting and this is where we're going. And I was immediately like, I'm not watching it because I want you guys to put a little fucking effort into the title of this movie.
I hear you. because I had the same reaction because Imagination is the one who told me to watch it, and she sent me a video to one of the songs, Soda Pop, and I watched it, and I was like, this is dumb. Like, I was like, this is not like, I don't like, the song was fine. It was just, generic boy band bullshit. I was like, this is fine, but I was like, I'm not gonna watch a movie about K-pop demon hunters. Like, that's so stupid. And then of course peer pressure happened. Right, peer pressure happens, and like a bunch of my friends, like my real life friends, are like, "Oh, you got to watch it. You're gonna love it." I'm like, I don't know. And then I'm seeing all these like reactors do like all these like content to it. I'm like, okay, this has got to be something. And I did one reaction to one of the songs, and then I was like, oh, this was really good. It wasn't the boy band shit. It was like actually really good. And yeah, I went and watched it, and I've seen it like 4 times since I first watched it. So.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, so it's good enough that you'd be willing to watch it 4 times, and that actually says a lot because I know that you're not you don't have all the time in the world. So I do want to
really
see
good.
it. I do want to see it. Like I saw that one of my girls, Solar from Mamamoo, was doing either a rendition or she was doing one of the vocals for it, and it sounded fucking awesome. Like a little clip on Twitter that I saw. So that made me want to watch it more than anything else that I've heard about the actual. Because I don't know what happens in the movie or like if they become
so
like demon hunters or anything
it's on
like
the surface. It's in the name. Like they titled it exactly what it should have been titled.
Well, that's what I figured. Are they already a K-pop group and already demon hunters, or does that happen through? Okay, yes.
And you learn that within like 30 seconds of the fucking movie. Like there is no hiding it. The movie starts, they start fighting demons, and they're in a K-pop group. And it's what's really clever, since you like the K-pop stuff too, Champ. They did such a fucking good job of like bringing a visual and kind of comedy anime element to like what the K-pop fandom is. Like everyone having their bias and everyone like jumping from group to group based off the charts.
Little
and, like,
meta humor in there.
They make fun of that?
Tons. Yeah. I don't know if made fun of is the right way to put it, because it didn't seem satirical. It was just like, it was kind of playful. Like it was like
self-awareness.
Yeah, like they start off and there's like people at one of their concerts and they're like wearing all the one of the girls' shirts and merch, and she's like this girl's my favorite. She can dance the best. They say she's the black. Like it's just like little interview clips, and it's just funny and cute. It's a really good movie. I can't stop talking about it.
You convinced me.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have
especially
to watch
if you like
it,
K-pop,
obviously.
Champ. Like you're gonna fuck with it a lot. I think.
I mean, I think me liking K-pop is like a bit of a misnomer. Let me just throw that out there. I did do it. Obviously, my channel has a lot of J-rock and K-pop on it, but there's like, it's like any other genre to me. It's like there are some really great groups out there that just excel and they're the fucking best. But there's a lot of trash out there also. So when it's really good, it's worth watching, it's worth listening to, it's worth following. If you're saying, I'm going to trust you here, Shade, if you're saying that this is a good movie and there's good music, I'm going to take that to heart, and then I'm going to judge you and criticize you for your opinions after I watch it.
I'm saying that the music in this movie could be its own K-pop group, and it would be outselling like Blackpink right now. I'm telling you.
Wow.
And
nobody
I am
outsells Blackpink. Let's be real.
I mean, but they literally have Teddy. What's his name? The producer who wrote.
Oh, they have Teddy.
Yeah, the guy who does like half
crazy.
of Blackpink songs did the production on this.
More than half. Probably like 75%.
Where can you watch this?
One of the singers from Twice. I think that's the group. I don't know Twice, but Twice is a group, and like dude,
is it Suyu?
No, it's like EJAE.
I don't know what that is.
But where can you watch?
But that's the lead
movie?
vocalist.
Where can you see this
Netflix.
movie?
Netflix.
Shit, I don't have Netflix, but I'll figure it out.
I'm sure Netflix is not hard to stream.
Yeah.
You can get it anywhere. Yeah, man. Yeah, Troy, I am a Blink. And that's why you actually got me excited.
What's
just based. I didn't realize Teddy was writing
what's
the
a
music.
Blink? First off.
Blackpink fan.
Oh, okay.
It's just the words squished together.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, he's what really got me into K-pop in the first place was probably mostly him more than anything, because I thought, like listening to those first Blackpink songs back in 2016 that got me into the genre was more about his production than anything else that was coming out of it. It was so different than American production, the way that they would like have 4 or 5 different beats throughout the course of the song, as opposed to the 1 or 2 that you get over here in the West. And I thought he did such taking risks too. He would take risks where it's like, why does this one part, like, why is there no percussion for the next 24 seconds,
It's
you know, and you go, that's
comes
wild.
In heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes back with a vengeance.
Yeah. If you're trying to make mainstream music, I mean, those are risky things to do, you know? So I always respected his efforts. That, of anything, is what's going to get me to watch this movie, to be totally honest.
So is it like, because I really want to get back into Dreamcatcher was the one that I watched because I liked how it was a story. Like if you want music video to music video, is the movie kind of like that? Like it's like storytelling.
Music? Oh yeah. This is one of those times where like I like musicals in general, but this didn't feel like a musical. It felt like it was a movie that had good music. It didn't feel like, because a lot of times musicals feel like they write the musical score, like they write the track, and then they just make a movie that fits it because they wanted to tell a story through songs. This didn't feel like that. This felt like they had an idea for a movie and then they wrote songs to fit it, and it just works.
It's a better way to do it. It's a better way to do it, in my opinion. I always enjoy those much better too. Yeah, Alan, I didn't even realize that you knew anything of the Dreamcatcher saga.
You're the one who told me to start with that first, because you said it had guitar and stuff in it. You're like, dude, check out Dreamcatcher first because you'll dig that probably. It'll be a good introduction. You said it had more of a genre.
No, it's a K-pop group, but they're like the rock K-pop group, and they have like a saga that starts in the beginning where they're like going to college or whatever, and somebody turns into the Spider Queen, and they all turn into like ghosts from a different dimension and try to like kill people that come. It's a pretty cool fucking saga that goes on for like 6 or 7 episodes. But they also the cool thing about Dreamcatcher, but Dreamcatcher was brought up, so let me glaze them for a second over here, because unfortunately they kind of broke up earlier this year, where it's like there's like a threesome that's still together, but I'm not sure how much music they're going to make outside of that threesome. But when they do J-Rock, when they make their, like all these K-pop groups, they make like Japanese versions of their songs, at least their biggest songs. And they're usually identical, except with Japanese being the language that they're singing it in. Dreamcatcher makes Japanese songs, and they completely change their genre, and they start doing like full on like either metal or J-rock. And like they'll come in and they have these bands come in and they're playing like, 16th note fucking and blast beats and stuff like that when they do Japanese music. And then when they come back and they do the Korean music, it's a little lighter, a little more toned down, a little more evanescence, rather than really heavy metal. I always thought that was fucking cool, and that makes it worth checking out Dreamcatcher.
It sucks that they're kind of splitting up, but they I see something they released a month ago with just the 3 members in there. It's like 2 minutes 45 seconds. Yeah,
and they're not done either. That 3-member group, they're still gonna keep doing stuff like that. They don't have the rapper in there anymore. A bunch of them just decided not to renew their contracts. It's sad. They had the run though. Like they broke through more than anybody thought like a rock-based K-pop group could, and they were like pretty close to the top for a good 10 years. So, Dreamcatcher love.
Yeah,
let's go.
I need to go check and see which ones we caught on, because Eric and I were watching it because you had told us, you're like, start with Dreamcatcher. It's a perfect entry point into the K-pop world. But I've heard some K-pop that has amazing production though, like just flawless, like clean, like too clean. Sometimes I'm like, damn, like that's like too perfect.
I think what people actually criticize it most for, where it's like it's so well done, it's so precise and stuff like that, that sometimes there's like you're missing that rawness, that sort of like emotional resonance that comes from something that's not supposed to be pristine, that's not supposed to be like a fucking diamond, you know what I mean? And I think it makes it seem a little bit less natural than a lot of other music. That's the big problem that I think people have with it. Right off the bat, just getting into it. But if you can find the right ones, it's just like if you talk to somebody and you're like, hey, rap's actually cool. And they're like, I've never heard good rap. And then you show them like JID or like DMX from back in the day, and they've never heard it. They've only listened to fucking Drake or whatever. It's like, oh, now I get it. It's very different, and it's well made versus like mainstream made. Same thing over here.
It's like, whenever you say the production's almost too pure, it makes me think of a really random correlation in like the whiskey world, because I like whiskey and scotch and all that. The first time I ever tried a Japanese whiskey, like a high-end Japanese whiskey, my first thought was that. I was like, this tastes like scotch, but like it's too perfect. Like it's you almost want it to have some like more character than it does. It's almost like too pure. And the first time I ever had Japanese whiskey, it threw me off. And then now it's one of my favorite, like, go-to, like, kind of, if I'm spoiling myself a little bit, I'll pull out one of the nicer bottles. But yeah, first time I heard it, I thought this, or tasted it, I thought the same thing. And it's funny you just made that connection to music, because I said this like 5 years ago about that. And sometimes too pure can be a little off-putting, which is weird to say. Yeah,
it's true though. It's true though, because it's like less human, you know. And as a human yourself, you want to be able to relate to whatever you're touching.
It's like Band-Maid. Whenever they do a song and Psyche sings like the studio version, it's like really like a lot of mixing and audio production, and then you hear it live and she does like the growls or a little grater voice, and you're like, oh, this is way better.
Yeah, their stuff is always better live, and it's for that reason exactly. Yeah, Merrick, the Uncanny Valley, right? When things are just a little bit too perfect, they become a little bit less human, and everything feels a little bit weird.
Well, and the new Band-Maid song though, they didn't do that with the vocals at the end.
No, they didn't. I mentioned that in my reaction too.
They kept
didn't do what with the vocals at the end.
They had good production, but at the very end, they let her do this off tune kind of thing.
The kind of like down.
It fit with the chaos of the music though. It fit perfectly, and I'm so happy they kept it in there. I isolated it. It sounded great. But like, if you hear it outside the song, it's like it sounds ridiculous. You're like, you know. It's like one of those things when you isolate tracks. I've always done that. You do these like weird little things that just sound good in the mix, but when you take it out, you're like, "What the hell is that?" You know, it's definitely one of those moments. What did you guys think of the new Band-Maid song? It's Champ's dying.
That was coughing.
You zoomed in right as he's like,
right during my coughing spree. Did you listen to it, Shade? Did you hear it yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Before we even go into that, did either of you read that article about what they were talking about, like the new songs and stuff like that? Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good song. I thought it was a solid Band-Maid song, a good song overall. I was reading that article and I was seeing how they were like talking about the two songs, the Ready to the Rock and the Justice, and how they kind of like went with it. And after reading the article, I actually feel like I questioned some things about how I was feeling about it the first place, right? So like Ready to Rock, they say at the very beginning, like they started closing their sets with it recently, and they were scared to do that because it's such a hard song. And I had just listened to Justice as I'm reading this article, and I'm going, man, I don't even remember like Ready to Rock being any more difficult than any of their other songs. Like it's not like they're closing the set with Giovanni or something like that, right? So and then I just finished listening to Justice, and then I went back and I listened to Ready to Rock, and I went, holy shit, that actually is way harder to play than Justice would be. And I immediately grew like a new respect for Ready to Rock that I'm not sure I necessarily had the first time that I heard it. Like I thought it was pretty good, but I didn't think it was anything crazy. Justice, on the other end, it feels way more of like a toned down type of like it's all about that riff in the beginning, right? Like that guitar riff that she does.
They had a motif and a theme to this one for sure.
And then as I'm listening to it a second time, I'm going, okay, put it in the place that it needs to be. It's the ending song for an anime, and there's going to be battle scenes over it. There's going to be all kinds of like just visualization that's supposed to go with this music. And then I'm like, okay, wait a minute. This guitar riff kind of sounds like fucking people fighting on a battlefield, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And then when it comes back in the second verse, I'm just imagining in my head like, okay, now we've added that second guitar, because the first verse is all bass, you know, but the second one, we add that second guitar, and then the first guitar comes in with a new riff, and that bass is still hitting hard though, and boom, 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 boom. At that point, by the second time I got through the song and I was at the second chorus, I was like, this is sick. Then the solo comes in, and I'm like, this makes the song 100 times better, and then the solo ends 10 seconds before I wanted to, and I was like, no, not again. Why do they always end their solos so early?
They always do that.
It was such a good intro to the solo, and then we just got 8 more bars. And I was like, no, I needed 16. I needed 16. But for the purpose that it was there, everything that's building around and like the creation of like it being the end song for this anime, I think it really works very, very well. As just a Band-Maid song itself, I'm not sure that I put it like at the top of the line, but I like what they did with it.
To me, it just sounded like another Band-Maid song, just because Misa is shredding the entire fucking time.
Dude,
like she does.
Gonna say
she does not hold back, dude.
Nuts.
Like she does not give it any fucks. Like my first initial reaction was that it sounds like a Band-Maid song. Like I love it that they make it fit the story, which I love that. But they still keep it complicated. And even Akane, like when she's going crazy on the drums, and for the solo, which threw me off, she goes simple on the solo. She just does like a kick snare. At first, I thought she was going with the solo when I was isolating tracks. I'm like, I love how Akane follows the solo. But the solo stands out so much because Akane draws back a lot. She just does the beginning fill to start it off, and that's why the solo hits you so hard, champ. Like, and I can feel it too. You want that like resolution where like the craziness comes in, like maybe like some drum fill to end off the solo or something. Like I feel what you're feeling too, because I've always felt that about Band-Maid solos. Like they're just too short, but maybe I'm just
they're just too short. No, it's a common practice from fucking them. Yeah. They know what their people want, right? Like they don't like to take their songs too long, but these people
that's why
on this podcast need 8 more bars. All right, just 8 more
for sure. But that's why we love their instrumentals. That's why I think the fan base just goes nuts over the instrumentals.
Yeah, really. And sometimes when they do these live things, they do actually like add stuff to it. So it's like it will be cool to see if they like decide to do something. What's the beginning of the solo reminded me of that slow song that starts with a D by them, which I can never remember the names of anything. But do you know what I'm talking about, Alan? It's like their slowest, one of their early slow songs. And it has that solo that comes in, like the whole song is pretty slow, but then the solo comes in like a fucking car crashing through a brick wall.
They have a few like that though, because even on their
Daydreaming. Thank you, SJ Nix. Yeah.
Wow, he guessed that right. He knew exactly.
He knew what I was talking about. SJ Nix has watched my channel.
That's a true.
I said that exact thing when I fucking reacted to it.
We'll follow Maid News Network. They talk nothing about but Band-Maid and some other things, but like mainly Band-Maid. Go check them out.
Thank you, SJ Nix. But yeah, that it felt the same. Like going into it at that moment, they took it down, and then it just hits you like a fucking ton of bricks. It sounds so fucking cool, and then you're like, okay, it's a little too short. Same with Daydreaming. But outside of that, like I love it.
I thought it was good.
I want to see them. I want to listen. I haven't done this yet, but I want to listen to them back to back. Just listen to Ready to Rock into what is.
Well, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting you say that because in that article, something that stood out to me was that. I think it was Miku that was talking about it, is how this may have been released the 3rd track or 4th track of this year, but it was not their newest track. Like this was released
made
later.
2024.
Yeah, this was actually kind of not an old song, but it was an older song than Ready to Rock and Zen. And so it's kind of cool to hear them talk about how they made this for this anime. Like you said, it sounds like a battle scene, and hearing Misa talk about the way she did the bass, she didn't want it to be like overpowering. She wanted to like be in like combat with the vocals, where like she was sort of going back and forth with Psyche on vocals. I loved it, man. It was a lot of fun. But I'm with you. I feel like this is an anime song. Makes a lot of sense once you know it's an anime song. Because if it's just a generic like standard Band-Maid, it kind of fits the bill for what you expect.
Yeah.
But as soon as you realize that it's like an anime song, you're like, oh, this makes sense.
I thought it was just a good old Band-Maid song. I didn't even think about the anime, but I love that Champ pointed that out because it goes back to what we were talking about with Ren. Like the music fits the purpose of the story. Again, like you can draw those conclusions with it. It does. Now that you said the whole fight thing, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Because I thought the riff was sick. Like I was thinking about learning, and I'm just like, that's going to be one hell of a riff. I love how they do the hard rock like sound, but metal riffs. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I love
it very much feels like a early 80s, late 70s sort of like when rock and roll was kind of like becoming metal. You know what I mean? Like it kind of feels like a Black Sabbath type of riff, but like modernized, where it has that blues feeling, but it's clearly being played like a metal riff is. And I think it's a really cool, like, you know what it does for me the most out of everything? It kind of brings together the sounds of Unleash and World Domination. So it's got that like that rock and roll feel of world domination and that blues scale and the way that she's but then the way that the actual song has come together, it feels a lot like Unleash in the second verse with the sort of like the palm muted underneath everything. I think they kind of like put together those two sounds, and that's how this song was created.
And then there's a lot of cool leads that she's doing in there that they buried. I was not happy with that. They buried her tapping. You can see her tapping in the video. They kind of buried it in the mix, but
that second verse, man, it's under everything. Like her guitar is under everything.
She's doing so many leads in that, guys. She's doing so many leads.
And a lot of people said that they've already performed this live too, right? And so I'm very jealous of the people who got to hear it live, because I bet this is really fun, right? Like,
oh yeah,
you'll hear that a lot more.
Yeah, I wonder if they do play it right before Ready to Rock, like at the very end of the set. It's interesting to me. It is interesting to me that they chose to do Ready to Rock at the end of the set. I know Psyche chose that. That's what they said in the interview. It was like all her decision. Or she, I guess, puts the set list together herself, and everybody was like, I don't know, man. Like, that's crazy. I got to play some hard shit at the end of the set to do that. But she was like, you know, this is one of the harder songs for her to sing also, because it's like higher in tone than most of the other songs. Like, she's got a very like sort of deep, full voice compared to a lot of the other Japanese female singers out there. And this one is higher than almost all of their other songs when it comes to the vocals. So, and she does a great job, man. I think she sounds awesome like that. You could tell that she's like putting in as much effort as she can to keep it up there. But that adds to the emotional resonance for me.
And then going back to the story element of it, is like, but in this interview, they talk about like how they read all the stuff leading up to it, the comics and everything, or the manga. It's like, yeah, it's true. We were quite absorbed in reading it once you start reading. And then Miku was like, I can't help it. I can't help it because it's work. I read it while making excuses to myself. I'm not sure what they meant. This is probably a bad translation, but it's kind of cool though. Like, the number of battles is certainly impressive, but there's justice and evil as a theme. As the pigeon wrote the lyrics this time, I was strongly aware of that. It is a struggle between Momotaro and the demon, which I'm assuming those are the characters in the anime, right? But justice for one side can be evil for the other, and it's a story where you can feel the fighting in such spiritual parts and the movement of human emotions. I wrote it in a strong desire to make it a lyric that conveys such parts as well. And I think it did that.
She also mentioned, I don't remember where it was in the article, but she also mentioned that because it was an ending scene, they had to make two versions. They made like a slower, more like somber version, and then that one like the battle scene. I'd be really interested to see if they ever released that slower version.
They definitely will. They definitely will.
Neo corrected me. He's like, Momotaro is one group and the Ani are another.
Okay.
They definitely will release it, because like if you watch any like animes, whenever they have like a sad ending to an episode, that's when you hear like that piano version of whatever the outro is. And there's going to be a sad episode at some point. That's where they'll definitely throw that in. You know, I want to hear that too.
Yeah, I love it.
It honestly makes me want to watch it. Like when Band-Maid gets involved, and they haven't even watched any of them. Are any of them worth watching? Chat, let me know. I'll be curious.
Yeah, is the show? I don't know when the show's out or if it's out right now.
Because like
I'm not
Chainsaw Man had like some of the best music ever for that show, and I was obsessed with it. So, and Band-Maid's been doing so many anime openings and endings, but I haven't heard anything about the anime itself. I feel like the anime's getting famous off of Band-Maid's song, almost like in a sense, you know, because it's drawing me to the anime just hearing the song. I'm like, oh, the song's badass. What Champ just said about how it like pushes the story out. Reading this article, I'm like, okay, like I might want to check this out.
They seem very interested in it. I don't know how much of that is advertisement and promotion from their end versus just like being genuinely interested in the story itself. But the way that they talk about it, they clearly know what they're talking about, so they've definitely actually read it. I think like it enough to keep going with it. That's enough for me to want to do it.
This one sounds like they like this. The way they're talking about it, it seems like they like this anime more than the, you know, Ready to Rock, which was ironically about like female musicians in high school or something like that. So like I remember them talking about that in the promotion. I remember they were talking about the anime, but the way that they're in that article, the way they were promoting it made it seem like this story they enjoyed a lot. So I don't know. Yeah,
because they're doing way more promotion. Like they have like these things that they've been releasing, like videos promoting what is justice, like posting everywhere. So I feel like they're more invested in it. But that's really good, because when a band has a following like that, Band-Maid has a really good following, and they're probably like for the manga, they're like, oh crap, we can use them as a good promotional tool to help out the manga do successful. I don't know what they have to do to, Because I know it's like pretty high. They have to have pretty high numbers to keep it going for like another season or something like that. I don't remember the statistics. Chat, let me know. Like they have to have a certain amount of viewers, otherwise they just cancel the show after the first season.
I'm guessing that's how pretty much all TV works.
Yeah, but they're like really strict about it. Like there can be I can't remember which manga it was, but there was a couple of them that were like really famous in the U.S., but then it didn't do well in Japan, so they just cut it off or something like that. But because Chainsaw Man, I've been waiting it's been like what 2 years now for the second season to come out.
Yeah, probably about that.
Yeah, because I remember it's all the songs.
I don't know. It seems like that's a new trend that's kind of going around in general nowadays. Because like even those Netflix shows that it feels like they're doing really well that people like talk about that they get canceled. Like, look at that Euphoria show that like took like 3 years off. Like what the fuck was going on like that? It's all I heard about for fucking 2 years, and then they just didn't make any more episodes for 3 years. It's pretty wild how TV works nowadays, considering like we used to put out 22 to 24 episodes every single year of a new TV show, and now it takes like several years to put out 8. You know, what the fuck is going on with that?
Yeah, well, let me know what you all think down below in the comments about the new song. I liked it. I thought it was a classic Band-Maid song and very unique tones too. I forgot to mention also for that one.
It's all about that riff, baby. It's all about that riff.
It is. So
it's all about that riff.
Brideer, announcement from a Brideer member: due to current issue between the band and label, distribution of Reborn 2013 and 2016 and Born Again was suspended on various platforms. We apologize for any concern this may cause. We may need your help to solve this issue. We would be happy if you could lend us your help at that time. We will keep you posted as soon as we know anything. So, yeah, that's crazy. So it works on Apple Music, so you guys can check it out on Apple Music. I mean, the best way is going to get the CD and download it. Honestly, it's probably going to be the best bet. Like this person was saying right here, if I can translate it. But this person was saying right there, like it's probably the best bet to do that. I don't know what's going on. There was somebody was pointing out a post in there that there's something happening with the distribution on it. So yeah, they're just getting screwed over again, which really sucks for that band.
Yeah, it's not like a comment saying that their management company is trying to take like 80%. I don't know how accurate. It was just a comment. I can't confirm it, but that's a lot.
I wouldn't be surprised, and I say that because they're under the idol industry, right? Like technically, I'm pretty sure they're under the idol industry, and the way that a lot of these management teams work is they put in a certain amount of money to create these groups and these bands and stuff like that, and then they have to hit certain quotas, the group does, on sales every year in order to make any money for the members there. And therefore, if they're not hitting those quotas, the management will take a higher percentage, give the band members less. And if it's working the same with them as I know it does with some other J-pop and J-rock groups that have been created under the idol industry, then that sucks ass. It's such a bad system. I think it's terrible. I mean, they get enough money to like, you know, buy food for themselves and rent and shit like that. But realistically, there's no savings. They're not getting any money. They're not progressing when they have to keep paying back. It's like student loans, right? It's like you have to keep paying back the student loans as you're making money. Yep. And it just makes it so that you can't actually make any money. I have to give these girls and the people behind it, that is not the label, a lot of credit for keeping pushing through, because they have hit so many roadblocks in the last 2 years. We thought they were done. 2 years ago, we thought they were completely done, that they were just going to be like, they were just going to cancel being a band. And here they are 2 years later. They're still fucking pushing. They're still trying to make music. They're still trying to release music. Now we're in a fucking fight with our label. I don't know what we can do to help them. Like they're bringing it
Storm
up.
the castle.
Yeah, like I would like to help. If it doesn't require me being more poor than I already am. But like,
I think we can just help them by just listening. Listening to their music. But it's what we're gonna have to do: to stream it on YouTube as much as you can. There was this comment somebody highlighted. I'm not sure if this is from a management company, but I'll read it anyway. This is reportedly royalty from music streaming company Spotify will be paid to label first of all, but the label will get 80% from it. Band will get only 20%, and the band have to divide it to the members in office and so on. So problem is label percentage is so high, is what they're saying, which, I mean, that's always been the case with all that stuff. That's why you have to do different revenue streams, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's one K-pop group that I know that got pretty big when they were first around. I'm actually struggling to remember their name right now, but they haven't. They said last year or at some point earlier this year that they haven't made a single dime, and it's been like ever something they're called, but they haven't made a single dime in the last like 6 years, like at all. All of the money that they've brought in, touring, going around the countries, fucking releasing albums, has all gone back to their management team who put them together.
So do these idol groups
Everglow, thank you, AG Films.
Do they get thrown out as like a kind of like an investment of that agency?
Yeah,
because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like
they get trained. So they go to basically these training centers, and the labels or whatever, they put a certain amount of time and money into training them and developing them so that they can release. And then once they release, they have to make a certain amount of money to pay that money back, basically.
Oh,
yeah. So it's crazy because you can, in essence, work for a decade for these groups and never make any money, and then you're 10 years older, you come out of it, you are famous now, but you still have $0 in your pocket and you have to start a new career.
Is that why
the contract?
Blackpink was able to do all their solo career shit this last year or so, because they made enough money that they are able to like not disband from their agency, but they don't have to answer to the agency.
That's exactly what happened. So YG,
I was curious about that. Yeah,
YG is their label as Blackpink, but YG has been difficult with them about releasing music, writing their own music, stuff like that. So all four of them signed with a separate agency for their solo careers, right? So like at that point, you're going they were, that YG wasn't going to do what they wanted. That's why they had to move to separate solo agencies. I'm actually surprised they came back as a group at all this year. I don't even know why they did.
They're playing their solo songs on the Deadline tour, which I'm like, okay, how does this agency allow that? But also, like, that's super cool, because essentially people going to these concerts are like, they're getting 4 to 5 different artists.
Yeah.
All within the same genre that they all like.
But that's not going to happen with anybody else except for Blackpink and possibly BTS. Like, I mean, they're bigger than the industry right now. And therefore, it means more to YG to have them under the label at all than it would for them to win a battle about what songs they're allowed to play. Because they could just go off and do their own solo things. They must be in order for them to come back together and make another album and do another tour, they must be being paid a ton of money for this comeback tour. Because why else would they do it?
All right, guys. Well, that's the podcast today.
Hey, I want to bring up one more thing. So I was at a wedding yesterday.
Yeah.
And some guy came up to me, a guy that like I kind of knew from the past, and he was talking about music. And he goes, "You know who I just need to go the fuck away?" I was like, "Who?" He goes, "Baby metal. They're fucking everywhere, bro. I can't get rid of them."
They really are.
And I was like,
everywhere.
I was like, what? Where are you seeing baby? They're not everywhere for me. I want them to be everywhere, and they're not everywhere for me. And he was like, "Dude, I heard them with Slaughter to Prevail. They were with Poppy." I was like, "Yeah, they were. This isn't a bad thing, man. This is a great thing. Like, what are you talking about?" And I had to like talk to this guy for like 10 minutes. Being like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but clearly you're searching for them, because you're not walking into Sears and hearing baby metal being played over the fucking,
just like, he's probably just like a metal fan and was checking out Slaughter to Prevail, and the baby metal popped up, and I don't know, and then Poppy maybe it just popped up.
He's definitely not a Poppy fan. I don't know, man. And I was just like, dude, there's no way that anybody else is having this problem with there's too much baby metal in America.
Yeah, let us know.
Oh, you said Sears and I lost it. And then SJ next to this, I was like, I haven't heard the name Sears in so long.
For real, though. All right, guys.
Who walks into Sears?
You crash into it.
All right, y'all have a good one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video, guys. For anyone that wants to follow this podcast, where we talk about our favorite musicians from all over the world. So see y'all in the next one. See you.
See you next week.